Hi everyone, welcome back. For those who are new here, my name is Bree and I'm an ACE certified personal trainer who focuses on beginner level fitness and helping you start your fitness journey. Today I'm going to take you through a guided workout where we focus on the rotational pattern of movement. During the workout, we're going to start by isolating our core and practicing not giving in to any sort of muscle weakness that may be pulling you into an unintentional rotation, just to kind of feel how much strength we have and what it feels like to really engage our core, which is going to be a core part of our body functioning when we do begin rotational patterns of movement. We will then slowly progress from less complex to more complex types of rotational pattern of movement. If you need any sort of modification throughout this workout, I will try to call them out as we go. And if at any point in the workout you're feeling uncomfortable or any sort of pain, stop what you're doing and talk to a physician about what the best course of action would be if you continue doing similar workouts. Today, all you will need is a mat and a chair for some of our later patterns of movement. If you're ready, let's go ahead and get started with the workout. First, we're going to start with our warm-up. We're going to begin with some shoulder rolls, nice and loose. Since we're just starting the workout and you may be feeling a little stiff or your muscles are not fully warm, it's okay if you have a lower range of motion at the start, and you'll probably notice as our workout progresses, your range of motion will expand. Go ahead and switch directions. If you've done any of my other guided workouts, these are probably some familiar warm-up moves for you. We're going to do some vertical arm swings. Again, nice and loose. We're just getting started. It's okay if your range of motion is still a bit limited, but do what feels comfortable for you without causing any sort of strain or pain anywhere in the body. Now we're going to do some reach up, pull down. So we're going to reach all the way up and pull down, really opening up our chest and our upper back. You should really feel those muscles engaging. It's a good time to go nice and slow through the movement. Warming up those muscles, opening up those muscles, feeling the expansion in your chest and the squeeze in your upper back and your delts, maybe a little in your traps. One more. We're going to put our arms out to a T and start with some small arm circles. Nice and small. Switch direction. Remember, it's just the warm-up, but you should be feeling some heat building in your body and those muscles really waking up. We're going to widen those circles as wide as you can. Again, what's right for you may not be what's right for me. That's okay. Just doing what feels comfortable for you in that moment. Reverse the direction. Maybe you feel you have a wider range of movement in one direction more so than the other. That's not something to be particularly concerned about, but could have to do with some muscle imbalances, some strength imbalances, which you can work on over time. We're going to do some dead hang twists, nice and loose. We're going to use this movement again throughout our workout today since we're focusing on the rotational pattern of movement, but you're going to really want to get that twist in your thoracic spine and maybe your hips. But for the moment, just letting your arms hang. Again, letting your muscles warm up. Nothing too strenuous at this point. We're going to do some standing hip turnouts. So bring your knee up as high as you can. Pull it to the side and bring it back down. If you can get to about 90 degrees, that's great. If you have a lower range of motion, do what is comfortable for you without causing any sort of pain or injury. If you have issues with balance, it's perfectly fine to lean against the wall for a little support. It's no big deal. Really feeling your hips expand, starting to engage those lower body muscles. We're going to transition now into some knee ups. Again, do whatever range of motion is best for you, depending on where you are in your fitness journey. If you can bring your knees to a 90-degree angle to the floor, that would be fantastic, but not required. Do whatever is comfortable for you. Again, using the wall if you struggle with balance, no problem. Making whatever modifications you can to support yourself to get through these movements in a safe manner. Last one. We're gonna do some calf raises. These should be slow and controlled, so we're gonna go up on a 2 count, down on a 2 count, if you can. If you need the wall again, please feel free to use it, or if you have a chair or a stool nearby, it's absolutely okay to use that for a little support. Focusing on keeping your core engaged and really working through the movement in a slow and controlled manner. It should take you about as long to get up as it does to get down. We're gonna do 2 more. Last one. And we're gonna end with 10 body weight squats at whatever pace is good for you. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart. Your first part of the movement is going to be a hip hinge back and then down. Try to keep your chest up and forward. Being careful not to bring the knees too far over the toes. If they come over the toes, it's okay, but you don't want to throw your body off balance, expose yourself to potential injuries by having them come too far forward. All right, you guys should be feeling nice and warm. I'm going to go ahead and get into the next phase of our workout.
Okay, the first part of our workout is going to be a combination of dead bugs and bird dogs. So the focus here is actually on stabilizing your core and fighting the urge for your body to naturally feel inclined to rotate towards maybe one direction or the other, which could be because of some muscle imbalances or muscle weakness. So when we're going through these exercises, really focus on how your core feels and making sure that your core is completely engaged. So first, we're going to start with some dead bugs. You're going to lie flat on the mat, making sure that your spine, especially your lower spine, is staying connected to the mat throughout the duration of the exercise as best as you can. You're going to bring your arms and your legs up with your knees about 90 degrees. You're going to engage your core, and you're going to bring one arm down with the opposite leg also extending. And then you're going to just rotate sides. So we're going to do this a couple of times, really focusing on core engagement, trying to keep that back pressed down, making sure that you don't hold your breath. You're continuing to breathe throughout the movement. And if this is a little challenging, that's okay. If you're not used to engaging your core muscles, that's all right. That's why we do this. It's a good practice. This is a great warm-up of muscle engagement. Two more. Great job. We're going to roll over to a tabletop position. And now we're going to start with some bird dogs. So very similar to the dead bug, we're going to extend one arm forward and up and one leg back. Now, if that's very challenging for you and you don't have very good balance to keep both extended at the same time, you can just tap them as far forward as you can and focus on that. But if you're able to complete the movement, this is part one. Then you're going to crunch together, try to bring that elbow to the knee and extend. All right, so we're gonna do 8 on each side. That's 1. That's 2. Remember to keep your core engaged. That's 4. 5. Trying to limit the external additional movements in your body. But if your core is not used to this, last one, maybe you'll feel a bit of a challenge in the balance. We're going to switch sides and do the same thing. Extend one arm, the opposite leg, bring them together. We're really engaging our core. So this is not necessarily meant to be easy, but it's meant to wake up those core muscles. 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Great job. We're gonna roll over and do those dead bugs again. We're gonna go through that whole circuit one more time. Make sure you have enough room to extend both your arms and your legs. Try to keep that back flat, same as last time. Continuing to breathe. You should be getting nice and warm now. Really focusing on that core engagement, keeping it stabilized, fighting whatever urge you may have in the body to try and rotate towards one side or the other. 2 more. Last one. We're gonna roll over and go into our bird dogs again. 8 each side. Remember to keep that core engaged. Trying to keep a neutral spine throughout. To help with your balance, press the fingertips of your hand on the floor down. If you cannot connect your knees with your elbows, that's okay. Do the best that you can. 2 more. Last one. Switch sides. Same thing. Really engaging that core. Feeling your core help you, support you through the movement. Fighting that urge for any sort of rotational movement. Last one. Great job. Go ahead and get some water if you need it.
For the next part of our workout, we're going to use a chair, or I have a little bench. So if you need to get one now, you can go ahead and pause the video and then meet me back here. So our first move is going to be basically a thoracic spine twist. So we're going to sit on the chair comfortably with our feet on the ground. We're going to cross our arms over our body, and we're going to slowly turn one direction, hold for a second or two, return to center, and turn to the other side. Now what you want to focus on in this movement is keeping the hips still. We're really only looking to engage from the low to mid back up in the body, but we're not twisting from our hips entirely. It's
Really focusing on as far as we can go without turning our hips to face one way or the other. So we're going to do 8 to 10 of these at whatever pace is best for you, but trying to maintain a slow and controlled movement. Let's go ahead and get started. And you're going to feel your core engaged in a different way than what we just practiced when we were stabilizing it. Now it's going to have a bit of a twist, a bit of a bind. And you'll feel how that's different than the dead bug and bird dog exercises. And remember to breathe throughout the movements, really working to stabilize and isolate those hips and fight against the urge that you may have to turn those and get an extended upper body turn. And if you don't have a very wide rotational range of movement, that's okay, and it's very normal. In fact, the rotational pattern of movement tends to be the pattern of movement that people train the least. I'm not so sure that it's because it's more complex than some of the other patterns of movement, but it's just one that oftentimes gets overlooked. But at the same time, it's one of the ones that we use the most in our day-to-day lives in a very natural manner that we probably don't even notice we are using that pattern of movement. I'm going to do one more each side. Great job. We're going to take a break from the rotational pattern of movement and do 8 to 10 tricep dips using your chair. Now, if you need a modified stance, you can keep your knees bent. But if you're ready for a little bit more of a challenge, you can extend those legs. Try to bring those arms to, again, about a 90-degree angle. Keeping that core engaged. 2 more. Great job. We're going to move into our next phase of the workout, which is slightly more advanced. Okay, for the next move, we're going to be in a half kneeling position. So you're going to have one knee forward and the other one down. This is very similar to the thoracic chair twist that we did at the beginning of the workout. If you have weight and you want to hold it, you can. You're going to hold it about chest height. And we're going to turn our body, our upper body, our torso, towards our knee that's forward, trying, again, to keep the hips stabilized, okay? Just going as far as we can, making sure our hips stay forward. We're going to do that a couple of times. 8 to 10 if you can. Feeling that core engage, feeling that twist. Making sure your hips are stabilized, fighting the urge to rotate, and going as far as you can with your upper part of your body. Last one. And can you give me 10 shoulder presses? I'm going to continue using my foam roller. If you have weights, you're welcome to do that. You can use 1 or 2. Feeling that core engage. Really working on stabilization and what may be a little bit of an unstable and unbalanced position. Okay, can you give me one more? Great job. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So find a stable base in a half kneeling position. Keep your weight or your hands at your chest. Slowly rotate in the direction of that forward knee. Trying not to twist at your hips, but instead focusing on
Engaging that thoracic spine. It's really the upper body that is doing all of the work at the moment. But you may feel that your lower body is engaged because it's fighting the natural inclination to destabilize, right? So you'll feel some lower body muscles engaged, even though you're not really moving any of them. Can you give me 2 more? And we're going to go back into those shoulder presses one last time. And shoulder press. Keeping that core engaged. Try to give me 8 to 10 if you can. If you're using weights, good job. Way to embrace a challenge. And maybe next time you can go a little heavier if you have heavier weights available. Progressive overload is how we build muscle. That should be the goal of any sort of strength training. Let's do one more. Great job.
Okay, we're going to end our workout with some Russian twists. So, you can keep your feet planted the whole time. If you want to challenge yourself, you can raise them or even cross them as long as you have a stable base. Or if this is too challenging or uncomfortable for you, you can use your chair, sit in your chair, and just go side to side from there. If you're going to use no weights, you can cross your arms over your body. If you have a weight or a water bottle or something to add a little bit of resistance, you just hold it and turn side to side, all right? So we're going to do that for 30 seconds and take a quick little break and then re-engage. So let's go ahead and start. Slow and controlled, if that's your preference. If you're used to doing this movement, you can speed it up a little for an added challenge. If you want to lift your legs and focus on your balance, you can certainly do that. Less than 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, take a break. Get some water if you need it. All right. When you're ready, come meet me. We're going to extend one leg, reach our arms up, turn our chest towards our toe, take a deep breath down. Going as far as you can. If you can touch your toes, that's great. If you can't, no big deal. Breathing into this stretch. If you have very tight hamstrings, you can actually lift the knee a little, take some of that tension off, that's okay. All right, we're going to take this bent leg and cross it over our extended leg, twisting. Another rotational pattern of movement, twisting to the other side, looking as far over our shoulder as we can to really get a nice stretch. Breathing into it. All right, switching to the other side, extending the other leg. Bringing those arms all the way up, turning our chest and coming down. As far as you can go, but no pressure if you can't touch your toes, that's okay. Really breathing into this stretch. After a long workout, we're working on breathing, lowering our breath rate, lowering our heart rate. We're going to take this bent leg, cross it over, twist to the other side, just like we did before, looking as far over our shoulder as we can. Getting a nice bind. Nice twist in our core section. job. We're gonna extend both legs forward together. Bring our arms up one more time. Take a deep breath in and come down on that exhale. Going as far forward as you can. Now we used our hips quite a bit, so we're gonna do some figure 4 hip stretches. So we're gonna lay down on our back, cross our leg, one ankle over the other knee, and we're gonna lift that leg up. If we can get it to 90 degrees, great. See if you can loop your hands through. Feel free to keep your head planted. No need to stretch up, but if you want a more advanced stretch, you are welcome to do that. And we're just gonna breathe through it. We're taking the knee behind our ankle and pushing it towards our chest while our other knee is actively pushing away from our body. That counter pressure is really going to give you the stretch in your hips and maybe a little of your glutes and your hamstrings that you're looking for. We're going to switch sides. Same thing. You can keep your head and neck planted. Your knee with your ankle over it is pushing in towards your body, towards your chest, while your other knee is pushing away. Using that counterweight to get the most out of the stretch. Making sure your back is fully planted, just like when we did those dead bugs at the beginning. Nice work. We're going to come to a comfortable seated position. I'm going to cross my legs. If you want to sit in a kneeling position and that's more comfortable, that's okay. We're going to take one arm, cross it over the body, using our other arm again as that counterweight. Feeling that stretch in our shoulders and maybe in our biceps and our arm, maybe in our triceps, because we work those out too. And I'm sure that you guys could feel those nice and engaged. And we're going to switch sides, using the other arm as that counterweight again. Continuing to breathe. Our breathing should be really slowing down, getting more controlled. All right, we're going to lift our arms up, drop one arm and grab the other elbow. Using our hand to reach as far down our back as we can. Continuing to breathe into this motion. I like to do a little wrist twist, which is also a little bit of a tongue twister for me. Repeat the same stretch on the other side. Again, reaching our hand as far down our back as we can go. Feeling that chest open, our back muscles engage, our triceps again. Do a wrist twist to the opposite direction. And we're going to end with a deep breath in, all the way up, let it out. One more time, deep breath in, raise those arms up, and exhale down. Really great job, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you on our next workout, and I hope that you enjoyed today's workout and really learned a lot about rotational patterns of movement and maybe engage some muscles that you don't traditionally engage in your workouts. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.